Travis Wayne Goodsell. Thank you to one of my viewers who linked me to Mackenzie Vance. YouTube did not want to let me find her, and so in the video I had to change the topic rather than doing a video about her. Now that I found her, I knew my spiritual witness told me that she was the one for me. So now we can do a video about her. And she's ex-Mormon. No wonder I like her. But, despite her being a redhead, despite her having that sassy attitude, she nonetheless does not know how to do research. She knows how to put pictures on her video screen. And I don't. But. So, her big beef with Mormonism, we're not going to talk about Tim Ballard. Who gives a bleep about that guy? But she does make some excellent points about him in the video, that current Mormonism caused him damage. And unfortunately, so too to Mackenzie. She is well aware of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints lying. She points out M. Russell Ballard. She calls him Russell Ballard. It's M. Russell Ballard, sweetie. Had lied, and the church covered it up. She does not understand that it's not because the church just wants to cover it up, rather than come out and say, we did support him at one time, but now that we've found out more information about him, we are withdrawing our support for him. Like she said, easy breezy cover girl. Maybe it's Maybelline. I said that. The SNL. But yeah, my understanding of Mormonism, with actual science-based research, is that the church is not covering up the fact that they knew Tim Ballard, but that they're covering up that M. Russell Ballard, as the acting president of the Quorum of the 12, is not competent to be the acting president of the 12. Old age has rendered him inept, unable to fulfill the duties of the office, and he needs to be removed. Just like Holland is, just like Nelson is. Notice how he came out with a video to kids to let everybody know he's still the president. Right, Oaks? And so, yes, Mackenzie, I love her. Marry me. But you're going to destroy our marriage before it even begins. Because you don't know how to do your research. Just like a guy with a crush on a girl doesn't do his research on her first. So, she focuses a lot of her anger on Joseph Smith. I see that briefly until the YouTube Mormon employee saw that I was finding things out and hacked me. And so I had to escape everything from the internet to get him off me. They just will not leave me alone. They boot me out of the church, but they still come after me. And so let's make this point very, very clear, as Mackenzie can't make the connection either. To all critics, ex-Mormons, former Mormons, never Mormons, when somebody lies to you, and you know they're lying, and you're angry that they've been lying to you, and you're upset with the kinds of stunts they pull to lie, do you then trust them when they're talking about someone else? Seriously? And that's what she does not get, Mackenzie. She is basing it off of Joseph Smith and Nancy Rigdon, the happiness letter that she mentions in her video. And she says she did another video all about Joseph Smith's polygamy. And where did she get this information from? Where? I can only assume that because she said we now have the actual letter, that she's referring to the Joseph Smith papers. But Nancy, did you even bother to check? So let's go over the Nancy Rigdon letters. The first one that Google search takes us to, and the Joseph Smith papers, the authoritative source for all things Joseph Smith. But knowing that the church lies to us, you can see in the Joseph Smith papers, they're still trying to cover things up. Like the Joseph Smith history. You go to the Joseph Smith history in the Joseph Smith papers, and you see that it's still the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But you will notice brackets around of Jesus Christ. You then click on it, and a little pop-up box inserted by Willard Richards, which means that the original document, which they show, the original handwritten document right next to it, shows the Church of Latter-day Saints. And it shows Willard Richards inserting as a little edit in Jesus Christ. And so what does that tell you? That Joseph Smith did not name his church the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And in the video I just did for you earlier, bombshell, Oliver Cowdery confesses that that was not the name of Joseph's church. And he's pissed that Joseph Smith, he's accusing, believing that he did, because Oliver Cowdery left, so he didn't know. He's hearing things. He's getting hearsay reports that Joseph Smith is a Danite now. That Sidney Rigdon turned him to be a Danite. and therefore changed the name of the church to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And all critics miss that. Oh my God. And so yes, the same problem is for polygamy with Joseph. It's the Danites who are doing it. Hello? Brigham Young is the leader of the Danites. How hard is that to figure out? He lied to destroy Joseph and remove him so that he can take over. The coup. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, sweetie. The happiness letter is a fraud. It's a lie. And it's supposedly claiming to be by Nancy Rigdon. I can't confirm that it is by Nancy Rigdon. Because there is no letter. No handwritten letter. It doesn't exist. You should have checked that first. You didn't. Because I checked. There are 3 versions in the Joseph Smith papers. The first is the, gotta blow this up, the Springfield, or the Journal in Springfield, Friday, August 19th, 1842. Okay? It's printed. And it's not Joseph. It's not his letter. It's somebody else writing about Joe Smith's morality. What Joe's morality amounts to looks like I got part of it cut off. But I did the snapshot to show this is forged. That this isn't really Nancy. Now it's also interesting, she's the daughter of Sidney Rigdon. If you know anything from my research on the Danites and their forged documents, they framed Sidney Rigdon's son-in-law. And I'm not recalling his name at the moment, but he's the supposed scribe for the forged documents from 2015 to 2019 also, or just 18, in which Joseph Smith talks about Adam on Diamond, and section 117 is condemning Newell K. Whitney of being a Danite. And so, yeah, it's just, if you put all the pieces together and you don't bias it with your hatred of Joseph Smith or your hatred of Brigham Young or whatever hatred, you see contradictions. That you know that some of the documents are forgeries. They cannot be legitimate because of how blatantly night and day contrast they are to other documents. And when you realize that the other documents are legitimate and that the controversial documents don't have basis for a claim of reality, you then know to dismiss the others. And there are numerous forged documents, guys. We're not talking just 1 or 2, and it could be easily interpreted any way anybody wants to with their spiritual witness feelings. No, it's an established fact that the Danites cooed Joseph's church in 1838 and were forging documents, were plotting while Joseph was still alive. They formed the Council of 50, the counter-government, while Joseph was running for president. That's why they did it. They were involved in polygamy. They were going around to the various Mormons and saying, Joseph Smith approves. When Brigham Young comes out in 1851 in this valley and says over the pulpit of conference, all of you will now practice polygamy openly. Only his Danites were, and they came with the first group. And so now everybody else is going, okay, well, who's single? The Danites already took all the women. And so the Danites were going out on missions and converting women to be their spouse in polygamy. And other Mormons were pissed. You're stealing all our wives. You need to bring them here, and then we get a chance to get them. You're missing this factual information. And so, because of the contention and problem that caused, Brigham Young then had Orrin Porter Rockwell rewarded for his loyalty under Joseph, as he was the one who framed Joseph with the attempted murder of the Missouri governor. But gave him the brothel out at the point of the mountain. Everybody calls it a hotel now. Orrin Porter Rockwell's Hotel for visitors to this valley. And then it still got bad. And Brigham Young was having too many divorces, and so he had one built on Regent Street downtown, which I think has now been torn down finally. But when they were starting to clean it out, to demolish it, they found the original painted walls of nude women. But today's Mormon don't want to hear about that. That's not faith promoting. We got to cover women up and hide them. Because that's what Lucifer says. And Mormons don't see the contradiction. Oh my God, hilarious. And so, yeah, this first letter is printed in a hate comment. Exactly what Mackenzie's doing. The next one is a reprint in the Deseret News. I'm sure we can rely on them to not be biased towards the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But oops. The date is 12th December, 1855. Is not legitimate, and it's printed. It's not Joseph's letter, not his handwriting, not his signature. Sorry, Mackenzie, you should have checked this. Because she says, we've got his handwriting. We know it's him. No, we don't. I'm looking at him. It's not handwriting. It's not him. Here's handwriting for the third one. But it's the Joseph Smith history. The 7 volumes, 8 volumes, or 7 volumes with index. But it's volume D1. And it's supposedly from 1st of August, 1842 to 1st of July, 1843. Well, we got them now. Unfortunately, when you click on the source note, because you have to keep an eye on these guys who were doing this, they like to hide things. Joseph Smith History, 1838 to 1856, Volume D1. Created. 4th of July, 1845. When did Joseph die? 1844, June 27th. To February 4th, 1846. And 1st of July, 1854 to 2nd of May, 1855. Oh, the same year when the Deseret News thing came out. You've got to check these guys. They are known factual liars. And so again, I've already established the fact that Joseph Smith never practiced polygamy, never approached anybody to steal their wives underage children, whatever. It's all lies. And so this one, the happiness letter, I was fully confident that I can look it up and find out that it's going to be a fraud without biasing whatsoever, because I've already established Joseph as a fact that he wasn't. Sure enough, boom. Did you see how I did it? I looked for handwriting documents. There are none. There are 3. And each one of them are not by Joseph Smith. And so now the question is, was it really Nancy? And I can't find that answer. She's the daughter of Sidney Rigdon. I don't think she went. I was checking for that, but I didn't see a Wikipedia page on her. Still some residue effects by the hacking by the YouTube Mormon employee. Yes, Nancy Rigdon. Probably should do Wikipedia. See if somebody's got something on that. And Sidney. No. So let's see if Sidney talks about what happened to his family. No, I'm not donating. If you can't get rich people to give to you, don't come to us poor people. I'm not giving it to you. The internet's free. I'm not going to be paying for stuff on the internet. I'm already paying for the internet through my rent. And before times, having to pay separately for the internet. Let's see. It doesn't look like they're going to say anything about it. Newell K. Whitney excommunicated Sidney Rigdon, September 8th. Interesting. 1844. You bastard, Brigham. Yeah, 1844. That's the latest year I can find here. And so apparently, because August was when they had the conference, August 8th, in which Sidney Rigdon spoke, Brigham Young spoke, and Lucy Mack Smith also spoke. And then everybody went home and picked and chose what religion they were going to join. Not a single Mormon followed Joseph Smith in section 107, verse 22, to succeed the church, to keep it running, which required the whole Melchizedek priesthood to gather and vote for 3. Yeah, it's backwards because I'm losing a lot of mass, and so it's not sticking on my finger. And so in order to keep it on my finger, I turn it this way. And so the church just died because nobody cared to have it succeed, and everybody wanted their own power to run the church the way they wanted it to be run instead. And so then the very next month, Brigham Young ordered Newell K. Whitney, Danite, to excommunicate him. And so, yeah, Rigdon refused to attend the trial. It's not that he refused, he probably didn't even get the letter. After which he, in turn, likewise excommunicated the members of the 12. Oh, yeah! And They're saying it was by a common council of the church, but no, it was the Brigham Young's 12. Because why would Sidney Rigdon be told by Newell K. Whitney you're going to be excommunicated by the High Council with Alphaeus Cutler, and then go after the 12 missionaries of Brigham Young? See, Wikipedia, you got to be careful of them. The church lies, and they spread their lies on the internet. Oh, look at that. It's church news time. And so, did we get all 3 of those? Yeah. Yep, because that was the other one, the third one, Joseph Smith history. And so, yeah, you got to keep an eye on this church. They lie. So if you'd like to know more, Mackenzie, you can just reach out and email me. I'm sure you're interested in older men, right? Who are desperate and lonely, right? Since we're on the internet and it's church news time, let's see if there is anything. There wasn't really anything yesterday. I could have obviously made something from that, but... And I think I had a related video that I could have tied it in together. No, they only have schedule of 2024 church-wide broadcast events. So they're still in denial that there's Armageddon going on. That they put Mormon missionaries at risk, and they're still going to put you at risk. War has broken out. It's not just Hamas and Israel. It's Palestine and Israel. It's Lebanon and Israel. It's Syria and Israel. It's Iran and Israel. It's the UN and Israel. Are you not catching on yet? The whole world is against Israel. Even Biden stabbed them in the back after he got home. God. So, yeah, the other 2 from yesterday was Elder Anderson encourages Cedar City young adults, that's what the topic was, is their push on children. They need to stay away from children. They need to talk to the adults and let the adults teach their own children. Church won't do that. Nelson came out and said, we're not going to do young adult devotionals anymore, or firesides anymore. And so then they've been doing devotionals instead, focusing on young adults and children. Because that's what they're doing now, is the church has collapsed. More than 10 million Mormons are like Mackenzie and I. We're gone. We're not attending church. We're not paying tithing. They don't need us to pay tithing. The whistleblower said the church makes more in interest than they get in tithing revenue. That's how filthy rich they are in neglecting the poor. And so the $1 million that they gave to the cute redhead in Florida, yeah, she's enjoying the paycheck. But they didn't give food. It was a bribe. Dear God. And so, yes, she's a redhead. See a pattern here? I've done videos where I've explained the childhood reason for little redheaded girls. Nonetheless. And so Elder Anderson, and I noticed Mackenzie, she's an ex-Mormon, so the manner in which she speaks of the church indicates that she was converted or left when she was young and didn't really know much of the church. So I need to know more about her. Email me. he's telling young adults, grow up into the gift of the Holy Ghost. Oh my God. And we just had the little kids bear testimony of Jesus. Where is that? Has it been that long ago? Yeah, here it is. Youth to fill world with testimonies of Jesus Christ on October 22nd. And then here, Anderson is telling the next generation of Mormons, grow up into the gift of the Holy Ghost, because you don't have a testimony. What's going on? Toddlers have a testimony, but young adults don't? And then Sister Yi, oh dear God. See that I saw it again in 24. You see it, and that's the same thing with the women who write these things in their journal after 1851, when Brigham Young ordered all to practice polygamy. They were held hostage as sex slaves, sex trafficked to this valley. They are held hostage by kidnappers who are torturing them. And you think that their journals are somehow legitimate? Just like the people who are held hostage and forced to read a terrorist confession? The president and an innocent Muslim were both forced to read confessions that they didn't believe in. And you can't figure it out about Joseph? That it wasn't him? And so yes, women still to this day who remain in the church are in bondage. They need to be freed, like Mackenzie. But like Mackenzie, they're going to have damage. The church damages you. And so she's talking about the wellspring of relief. Oh, it sounds so precious and few. That comes through covenants with God. Well, I don't understand what's wrong with that, Travis. Have you not been to the temple? Have you not been to the endowment that Brigham Young created, where you swear a blood oath covenant to obey? Are you not listening to them? Oh my God. Law of obedience. Women, you still have to obey your husbands. You got punked. I've done the chain link. It's now Jesus, but Jesus has Nelson as his mouthpiece. And Nelson tells you to obey the family proclamation, and the family proclamation tells you to obey your husband, but you're an equal partner. And you fall for it. Law of sacrifice. Die for the church. Commit suicide. Don't let the church get in trouble with the law. Law of the gospel. It's now the higher law of Jesus, which is polygamy. Section 132. That replaced Joseph Smith's monogamy chapter. The year before Brigham died. The document does not exist. It was created and put in the year before Brigham died. The law of chastity. Polygamy. Child bride polygamy, as Nelson is resurrecting it. He made changes in 2019. And then the law of consecration. You are a slave to the church. Everything you do Everything you make goes to the church. You own nothing. You do not get to save any money because it all goes to the church. That's the kingdom of Zion coming to you in this valley if the church wins and conquers America. 8 April 2024. That conference weekend of the 6th and 7th. That's when they're planning for it. And so these broadcasts, yeah, it's Big Brother. 1984. Sex crimes. Anybody pay attention to the songs in the description below, the video I did on that? That's what she's saying. The wellspring of relief is bondage, sex slavery, and suicide. The wellspring of relief. Now you know the rest of the story. Mackenzie.